Good morning, folks. 5:10, 53.9 degrees on day 134. That's August 14th. I'm gonna wake up. All right, good morning again, folks. It is 6:41 and 54 degrees even. So it's nice. It was a pretty little morning too. Just breaking out of camp and breakfast and all that. I did reflect this morning, actually not last night, on the water situation moving forward, and looks like my next water is in 13 miles, which really isn't too bad, especially for the morning when it'll be a little cooler. I just want to make sure that a left turn here is where I want to go. Yeah, I slept pretty good last night. There was definitely some strange sort of wind that kicked around a little bit, and it would be super calm, and then the wind would kick up, and then super calm again, and then the wind would kick up again. I was trying to think of a good analogy for it, and I couldn't really think of one. But the wind sort of felt like it was just, I don't really know how to explain it, but like sloshing around like water in a tub or something. So it was just kind of sloshing around wind, sort of strange. And honestly, when the wind did kick up, it sort of felt like a stormy wind, but I never heard thunder. It never rained, anything like that. And honestly, this camp spot I found was really pretty nice, because there were trees to the west, which is again generally the direction of the prevailing wind, and with the trees to the west, I was pretty well blocked from that. I'm just kind of inspecting this CDT blaze here, because usually when they're turned sideways, it means you turn on the trail, but that conflicts with what I understood the direction of the trail to be, and indeed, it looks like just a couple nails have come out, and it's just sideways. So hopefully that doesn't confuse anyone else. Yeah, so 13 miles to the first water source. There's a couple of interesting things today, a few interesting things, in looking at the maps and kind of wrapping my head around the day. So we have 13 miles to the first water source, and then about 5 miles beyond that, there's like an outfitter or something just off trail. I can't recall the name of it off the top of my head. A guy called Dave, I guess, runs it. And that's kind of like the next water source, and apparently a really good outfitter too. So I'll be swinging through there, and then there's also going to be, I forget what it's called, like granite mountain lookout or something like that, some kind of lookout, or I don't know if it's like a fire tower or like a shelter or just a kind of open space where you can look out over stuff, hills and stuff, I guess. So that'll be pretty neat. And then this is the outfitter. There's that lookout. And then kind of the third thing that I was seeing on the maps for today is that it looks like there might be some interesting sort of like ridges. I won't say knife edges, but some interesting sort of ridges that look like they could be kind of cool and scenic. So we'll kind of see how those shake out as well. I will say, I should mention that in yesterday's video, I sort of said that Montana hadn't been quite as pretty as I would have hoped up to now. And I still, for the most part, stand by that. But last night when I was getting ready to go to sleep, I was thinking, man, Spanish Peaks was no slouch. Spanish Peaks was the real deal, and that was really pretty. So shout out to Spanish Peaks for sure. And then I'll say that yesterday was prettier than the few days before. And if, in my reading of the topographic maps, I'm correct, looks like today might wind up being prettier than yesterday too. So we'll kind of see how it all shakes out. I'm excited about it. But anyways, it's hill time, so I'm going to snap off, get hiking, and check in with y'all a little later on. right, y'all, it is 4:40, 69.8 degrees. My watch has been in the shade, as have I. I'm just leaving a bit of a random outfitter here right next to the trail. A guy called Dave has a shop. I'd have shots for you, but he is resistant to folks taking pictures and videos of his business, so I want to respect that. That's fine. Cool guy, great stop. Got a couple sodas, a couple bags of chips, and cooked up some lunch or dinner, whatever you want to call it. Nor pasta side or whatever rice, power rice blend thing with tuna packet, so pretty standard. It's pretty clear to me that I'm gonna get not 30 miles in today, which whatever. That's fine. This was a kind of cool stop though, so I'm happy I sat down here for a little bit. Another hiker called Chairman was here when I got here. I've seen him a couple times on this jump. He was staying just a few doors down from me in Helena, in fact, over at the whatever it was, Budgeted and Express. And he's actually a dude I met for the first time, maybe someplace around Chama or Cumbres or something like that. So cool to run into him again as well. So we were kind of jawing away a little bit, and then jawing with Dave, and then a couple of local folks rolled in, and they were pretty excited to talk to Thru-Hiker, and jawing with them a little bit, and just kind of relaxing. It's definitely a bit of a vortex, I'm not gonna lie. That place is just the sort of place you want to hang out at. And frankly, today, for whatever reason, man, I mean, it's been beautiful, but I've just been tired today, dude. I don't know why. I mean, I've been drinking enough water, I've been eating my snacks and stuff. It's been a little warm, I guess, but I've just been tired. So, I mean, I would have loved to have set myself up and put myself in a position to do more miles this afternoon, but frankly, I was just enjoying myself back here, so you know, so I'm not really set up to do a big mileage day. I think I've done about 20 or something like that, I don't really know, to this point. And as I said, it's, you know, just about 4:45, so, you know, only a couple more hours of hiking. And the bummer is that there's water in 2 miles from a not super reliable source, but water in 2 miles nonetheless. And then there's water in 12 miles, so 10 miles beyond that. So either way, I'm not going to be camping anywhere near water. I think what I'll probably do is try and drink as much of this 2 liters as I'm carrying out from Dave's place as I can in the next 2 miles. And then load some up and hike some distance beyond that first water source towards that second water source. And then, you know, camp. But yeah, I'll pack out, I don't know how many, 4 liters, 5, I don't know, from that 2 mile water source. Excuse me. And then kind of see how it goes. So anyways, yeah, today's been a pretty day. That's very exciting. But there's more hiking yet to do. Just not quite as much hiking as I'd like to have done, but that's all right. I will keep on keeping on. Check in with you guys a little later on. All right, guys, it is 7:27, 70.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Naturally, Celsius would be pretty warm. I have not made it to camp for the night. Obviously, I'm still walking. Man, take a look, like in the background or down this hill. You can, or even right here, just on cue. It's been like this for like 5 miles or so. I'm feeling pretty tired. I'm okay, I'm good. But it was definitely kind of feeling like one of those days where I might even quit a little before 7. just because I'm just generally pretty, ooh, sorry, as I switch hands, pretty tired today for whatever reason. I guess I went to sleep pretty late and woke up decently early. I didn't really go to sleep until like past 11 last night. It's crazy. But I guess that explains it. That makes me feel better. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this past 5 miles has just been this really, even where the topography has been accommodating, and there have been a few spots where it hasn't just been this big sloping hill like you see in front of me here, you know, kind of sloping down this way. Even where the topography has been accommodating, it's just been all these dead trees, all these blowdowns, and what's more than blowdowns is just all of these standing dead trees, which certainly I worry about more than trees that are on the ground. There was a spot probably about a mile ago. It had some really good tent spots, nice and flat and level and really kind of primo. I'd read about it on a comment on Far Out and then sought it out, and when I looked around, there was like at least 15 standing dead trees, each at least 30 feet tall, all within 10 feet of any of the tent spots. So, I mean, would have loved to have stopped there because this looked like really flat grounds, but I mean, you can go back over the past few days, and I think in each of my morning check-ins, I comment on wind that I've noticed every night. So even though it is remarkably still and calm right now, I don't want to camp anywhere near all these trees that have fallen and all of these standing dead trees. So even though I'd wanted to quit before 7, and even though it's past 7, I'm just kind of in a situation now where I hike until I find a spot that I'm happy with. So kind of is what it is. I mean, I got more than enough food and water, and I'm not like deadly tired. I'm just tired, man. So anyways, whatever, every mile I do tonight, per usual, one less mile I have to do before town tomorrow. So there's your silver lining. But yeah, I'd rather wake up tomorrow than not, and that's what I'm hiking for now. So just a quick check-in. Sorry there weren't a whole bunch of shots this afternoon, but I mean, you can kind of see around me here, there's just not a whole lot going on. So I'll keep hiking. I'll probably check in one more time just as a timestamp for when I get to camp, but that's about all I got for now. All right, folks, it is 8 p.m., 68.4 degrees, and it's not my favorite home for the night, but I've made it to home for the night. I'm not yet pitched up my tent. That's where it's gonna go. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Definitely 10 dead trees that I'm counting within the immediate vicinity. So yeah, definitely not my favorite, but honestly, since that last check-in, I walked through a huge burn area as well, where there's obviously been a wildfire. According to the comments, it was at least 2 years ago, because people in 2020 were talking about it. But yeah, today was a good day. I mean, I'm just tired. I'm just real tired. I guess that's what happens when you do, 30 miles off 5 hours of sleep with, Far Out says 6,400 feet up and 6,400 feet down as well. So, I can be proud. I think I did a good job today. I think I did decent mileage, all things considered. And hopefully I sleep all right and none of these trees decide to come visit. I expect it should be fine. Probably getting really worked up about nothing. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just kind of kicking rocks out of the way. Another really cool thing that happened today that I didn't comment on a little earlier was I ran into a group out on the trail near like a forest road type thing, Forest Service road. Looked like mom and dad and the kids and a couple friends or something like that, just out with like quart containers and stuff, foraging. And I had seen this, even a similar group, I don't know what, 4 days ago or something. And, you know, I was just kind of like hiker mode. So, you know, I gave him a friendly wave and hello and this and that, and then just pretty much blew on by, didn't even really break stride. This is 4 days ago or whatever. And I made it like half a mile down trail or a mile down trail, and I was like, man, I should have asked those guys what they were after, like what they're picking out here. Like, you know, I plan on being out here another few weeks or whatever. Well, so I didn't waste that opportunity with this group, and I guess they are out harvesting huckleberries, which is pretty cool. And indeed, there's none right around here. Hopefully I'll be able to show you some in the next few days, because they're kind of everywhere. They look a ton like blueberries. I mean, not only the berries themselves, but the plants even look quite a bit like blueberries. And I'd been noticing them, but, you know, certainly not my rule, but a rule I certainly observe when it comes to foraging is, man, if you're not 1000% sure, don't mess with it. Don't mess with it at all. So I'd been noticing these very blueberry-like plants, and the main thing that threw me off was that usually I feel like blueberry plant leaves have a little bit of a reddish or orange yellow hue in addition to the green, almost like a tie-dye type effect, which is kind of cool. And that blueberries tend to grow like in clusters, not just one on their own. There's usually a few blueberries together. And these berries, it looks like the leaves are pretty much a solid green, and the berries tend to grow pretty much just on their own. I mean, many per plant, but not like in clusters or anything like how blueberries do. So yeah, I've been leaving them alone, but that's what this group was collecting. And now I know what a huckleberry plant looks like. Now I know those berries are edible, and now I'm a stay crushing them, man. Like when I see them, I'm just gonna crush them. I've definitely snacked on a bunch already today, and I mean, so long as I see them, man, down the gullet they're gonna go. They're delicious, super delicious. Tastes a ton like blueberry. I mean, you'd have a hard time. I hate to say it, like maybe I just have a simple palate. I don't know, but like I feel like you'd have a kind of hard time like telling them apart. You could eat them, have someone tell you you're eating blueberries, and you'd be like, yeah, that's right, I believe it. Anyways, so I learned what huckleberries are, learned how to identify them, and still banged out a 30 on a really tired day. So I'd say that's a pretty good day. I do still have like, I think it's like 16 or 17 miles to get to the hitch point tomorrow, which is a little more than I'd like, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I got to turn in. Well, not even turn in. I got to pitch up my tent and all that. But yeah, man. One more half day before Lincoln. Still haven't decided whether I'm going to zero in Lincoln. But after Lincoln, man, it's going to get real cool. I think today was like a great little like preview of some really cool stuff. That ridge was awesome. Yeah, I'm going to pitch my tent. Go to bed, maybe not even process any videos tonight. We'll kind of see how we feel, but I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.